Good evening, one and all. Welcome back, everybody, to our Wednesday night entertainment here in the MRS League. Of course, the one and only. Here we are in the beautiful, sunny Belgium Grand Prix. So lovely to have you all with us. Please do get involved, as always. Lovely to have you, as we are here for round 10. So yeah, if you missed last week, bit of my fault, so I do apologise, but I'm sure once again it was a fantastic race, as it always is here in MRS. We have 9 drivers on the grid this evening, so once again this is down to just finishing is absolutely crucial for all these drivers. Points on offer. And so yeah, let's have a look. 18 minutes of qualifying. We don't know what the weather's going to be for the race just yet. Hopefully we'll get that through very soon. But yeah, so we've got, of course, a few people from the cross-play that we've now introduced here in MRS, including Lister Egg and GTR Craig as well. So a few drivers on their outlaps. Let's have a quick look at the tyres that they're using so far. So most people on the softs around here. Difficult track, this 22 laps is what we're going to be running. And evening, Jack, lovely to have you. As always, I'm sure Monster's not going to be far away as well, as always, as evening Grimo as well. So we've had a good season so far, very close. Thomas is really doing well. Mike's one of the first ones who's going to be starting a lap. Blood Diamond is the first one to start his opening lap. Only 2 drivers still in the pit lane at this moment in time, including our championship leader Thomas, who has been working extremely well with Blood Diamond through a lot of these races. Jack, a little bit of bad luck for you, my friend. I'm sure this is one of the tracks that you can come back and fight for that championship and close the gap at the top, working really well with your teammate as always. Difficult track, this one, in terms of setup. You want to be running potentially a low downforce, so that's the general concept. The long Canal Straight, and of course the last sector up through Blanchimont as well. But that downforce is really, really critical, especially on the rear where Blood Diamond is in this middle sector. Very, very difficult if you have low downforce and that rear is sliding. You really want the confidence, for example there, down through Pouon, to throw the car in, potentially flat out, potentially not lifting at all on the throttle. So will we see that tonight? And of course they're through the campus, a couple of chicanes. I will get involved with the YouTube chat as well, so please do join me as I just bring up a couple of the standings and see where we are in the Drivers' Championship after last week. Quite a big gap at the moment in time, but after it goes, it's about 30 odd points just between Thomas and Nicky Gasling. Grimo is right behind his teammate within Blood Diamond, running very, very closely. He sets a 44.4 in his opening lap. Let's have a quick look. Let's have a look on board Lister Egg. He's one of our newest joiners. Of course, he is running on the PC rather than just the PS. Of course, with GTR as well. He's had a purple first set at this moment in time, but of course, early days at this stage. It's going to be interesting to see. Oh, this Monster's had a good opening lap, a really nice one from him. So it's a good benchmark for him. But again, this is one of those tracks that it's such a long lap here, and it is quite a difficult lap, as Lister Egg sets a very, very good opening lap time. Who was that coming across the line? That is Vexman. He's just starting his lap. What about Grimo? A little bit of traffic there in the middle sector, going towards the final sector, but sets a purple one. Another good lap from him so far. And what can he do? Flat out all the way. There's a little glitch there. You may have seen it there. Was you see the exit of the car and the entry to Blanchimont. It's just that the car bottoms out, but looks like you're actually freaking a lot of carbon fibre from the bottom of the car. It's not actually that, folks, so don't worry if you're watching this and you see a few drivers get a little bit with a bit of damage on the car, but it's not that, so don't worry. As Grimmo set to 44.7, so half a second separating the top 6 at this moment in time, but it's just one of those that the guys are just starting to feel the way into the session, feel where the grip is. Grimmo, we saw there was a little bit of traffic on his opening lap. So what can Mike do with his opener? The line does come up very quickly, so it's a 44.7 from him as well. Vexman has bailed, so he's just warming up. Sorry, that was Thomas. Vexman, what's he doing so far? He's on a slow lap. He's bailed on his original lap. We've seen a few drivers. I mean, this is one of those that you'd have to do, and this is what Lister Egg, he may be pitting, funny enough, because the tyres don't really last. They do take a bit of a battering around here. It's not unusual to see a two-stop strategy around here. As well with the possibility of safety cars, it's not known as a street circuit by any means, but some of the corners are such high speed and the walls are very, very close, so there's not a lot of runoff for them. Lister Egg actually going for a second lap, so this is going to be interesting. Let's ride on board with the man in the Mercedes. In provisional pole at the minute as he goes down to heavy braking into turn 1, goes very, very sideways. The rear locks up and doesn't get the traction through the source hairpin. That's actually turn 2. There we go. That was it down the hill. Don't really think of it as a corner. And then into the world famous Eau Rouge Radion, left, left, blind over the hill. Then turn 6, DRS wide open on the Kemmel straight. Reaching excess here of 205 miles an hour, 206. He used a lot of his battery in that first little bit. Broke himself through the first part of Le Com. And then what can he do through turn 9? That car looks a little bit slidey and a bit understeered to me. Down the hill into Bruxelles, the long hairpin. Track runs away from you and then into No Name. Turn 11, misses the apex again through there. They have changed the curbing slightly, and then Prix on turn 12, little lift, just wants to make sure he doesn't run wide in that Mercedes car. And then 13 and 14, the Campus chicane. Again, those curbs are very, very narrow now. It's not like they used to be. And then into Stavelot, turn 15, and then the exit of Stavelot, turn 16, flat out. Want to get the best exit possible up through Colbert Paul Frere. This straight, and then you got turn 17 and 18 Blanchimont corners. We've seen some fantastic racing over the years in that corner, some side-by-side action. No DRS at that point, and then heavy braking about the 100 metre board into what was formerly called the bus stop chicane and now just called chicane, and he's bailed Lister Egg on that lap. But there's a quick run through of the lap, folks. Exciting lap, just a good track, just a good fun track. If you've got a setup that really works around here, that you can throw it in and you've got that high top speed, but you're able to carry the speed through a lot of these mid-speed corners, it is a very enjoyable track indeed. Jack taking a bit of the inside curves there, but what can he do? He sets a 43.8. Fantastic lap from Jack with a 6/10 improvement on his second run. Evening Monster, and told you, I did say you won't be far behind. You've set a good lap so far, currently in 4th, as Thomas has now put it into... That's on the mediums, by the way, folks. That's just in a 10th off Jack, and that's a stunning lap from him. Vexman up slightly through his first sector by half a 10th. What's he going to be able to do? He's got clear track ahead of him, so he's not impeded at all. Everyone seems to be reasonably well spaced out at this moment in time. I think Grimmo's got looks like the Red Bull going through No Name. A little bit ahead, but not enough to really hamper him. But Vexman hasn't used too much of his battery so far. And it is a difficult track to get it to really recharge on here. So, and it used a lot. There's a lot of full throttle time round this circuit, of course, as Vexman's bailed on his lap. What about Grimmo? He's just on an out lap, so he's trying the medium tyre run. Who's on a lap? Let's have a look at the Ferrari. Only slightly down through the first sector. That's not going to worry him too much because less than a tenth of a second, and I think that could be a tiny little bit of throttle, tiny bit of lift, so it's not a big problem. Looks nicely hooked up, very nice and neat through Bruxelles. And No Name takes that entry curb, hits the apex nicely, uses the apex. That was quite nice for Monster through there. Ferrari looked very nice, very stable. Little drop, takes a bit of the entry curb as well. Can unsettle the car, but gets on the power soon enough. And then into Campus. He has got a Red Bull a little bit further ahead. It looks a little bit slow moving, but looks very nice through the exit as well. What can he do? Instablo, easy to run wide through there and outbrake yourself a little bit through it. He's made a very good improvement through that middle sector, so this could be a nice improvement. Could get himself up alongside where liquid gas is as well if he has a very, very good last sector. He's used all the deployment though. He's used too much, so this is really hampering him through this final part of the lap. Heavy braking into bus stop. He's actually bailed on it. Oh, just used the overtake button a little bit too much early on in the lap, trying to chase the lap time. That's unfortunate for Andrew, but definitely going to be able to take some confidence, I think, from that middle sector, especially because that did look a very, very nice middle sector from him. The car looked very, very well hooked up through there. And again, that's that bit we were talking about there, that it's easy to... You've got to get the balance. You have to get the balance right for that outright speed, and then that confidence through the middle sector to carry the speed. The same thing as well for GTR. He's used all his deployment as well, and that again, easy to do. Decides to take the wider line through the exit of the chicane, and he does a 44.1, so an improvement by half a second into third. This eggs early on in his lap. What about Blood Diamond? He's up a little bit on his lap time. Opting to set a lap on the mediums. And that was interesting that we saw GTR take a different line through the second part of the chicane, because you wanted to, naturally you want to hit the apexes. That's the instinct of every Formula 1 driver, every esports driver as well. You want to be hitting the apexes and being able to shorten the track and shorten the corners as much as possible. But sometimes, because of the way the track runs, you don't always want to do that, because, as Grimo's decided to bail. Well, I say bail, he's made a mistake through there and invalidated his lap time. Easy to do through Pouon and Radion. Easy to do but yeah, you can take that through that chicane, because if you take the right side, it has a lot of undulation through that chicane, as Mike Taylor's just gone through it, and you can easily lose the rear on power and the exit of it. So to hit that wider line, I don't think's hurt GTR there. That's an interesting line. It may be slow at sort of the apex heat, but if you get in the car straight, you're not going to have to deal with the undulation either. So that's quite an interesting point that he's done there. So I'd like to see how that works, if anybody else decides they're going to take that version, that view, and that racing line through it. Have a look at Mike as he's comes to the middle sector. It's interesting to see what Liquid Gas could do. He's just starting a lap now on the medium tyres. Oh, Mike's gone very, very wide. I probably would bail on that lap from there. You can lose a lot of time. As soon as you go wide, hit any kind of gravel through here, even if you just go a little bit wide, because there's you need a good exit to either get the run to the next complex of corners or to carry the speed through a complex of corners. You go a little bit wider, outbrake yourself slightly through here. It can be very, very costly with the high average speeds that we've got around this Spa-Francorchamps circuit. What's Jack doing at the minute? That car looks quite nice in the Aston Martin. He used quite a bit of his battery, but he's dropped it down to medium for this middle part where you don't necessarily need the hot lap and full discharge of the battery. He's set it to hot lap now as he goes down the hill from No Name down towards Pouon. That car gripping up very nicely indeed for the Aston Martin man as he goes into Campus. Thomas has done his laps. Oh, very, very twitchy. Took a bit too much and he's bailed on the lap time. He's put it to none. He's probably bailed on that one. So it shows, I think he was probably very marginal then with his previous lap time. Who's on a lap? Is Listereg actually on a lap? He's got the Ferrari of Monster. I think it's Monster. No, it's not actually. Do apologise, Andrew. That's GTR. It's nice for you, I'm sure. I would imagine to have a... It's probably nice to have a... Sorry, I got distracted there from some of the MRC work coming through. Do apologise. But yeah, that's, to have another Ferrari on the grid. Be nice for yourself. But we've got most of the teams. Here we've got Mike, it's the lone Red Bull this time round. Who's on a lap? Jack, as he started another lap. He has just started another lap. Let's just see how he's getting on. Have to go through Radion. Down the Kennel Straight, DRS wide open on this. We saw 204, 205 for Jack. So a little bit lower wings, you may say. Trying to use... Oh, just, you could see it on the corner there. He just took a bit too much. That's very frustrating. It's right at the end of qualifying as well. Will not... Well, I probably won't get around, actually. He won't get round. What's his time on? Ooh, he won't get round to do another lap as well. That's hard for Jack. What about Thomas? These are the final laps, folks. Mike Taylor won't get another lap in. He's in the pits. Only 30 seconds left. It's going to be hard pushed. I think it's going to be Vexman. He's going to be hard... no, he should get there. He'll get there. To do his final lap. What is Thomas doing? He's going to catch up to Jack very soon. Unfortunately, as we say, who has finished. So let's have a look up through that middle sector. This could be another pole position for the V-Carb man. For the V-Carb MasterCard Visa Cash App contactless mortgage debt car that we've got coming through. How's he getting on? Over the line, he gets he bailed on it. Interesting. Decides he didn't want to start first. And that's... Oh, there's GTR's also invalidated. What about the other V-Carb? That's interesting that from Thomas. He was setting a fast lap and decided against it. And it's one of those that if you lead up through Roderick, we've seen it many, many years, that run from Radion down the Kennel Straight on the first lap, especially first two now, of course, because the DRS is going to be enabled on lap 2, it can actually hamper you quite badly. So maybe Thomas just playing the smart game here. But what about his teammate? What's his teammate going to do about that? Is his teammate going to go as Monsters put it on pole position? 300ths of a second. Great lap from Andrew. I said early on he'd look good in that middle sector. Is it going to be good enough to stay on? Paul Grimo is also on a lap. We'll cut to him very, very soon. What can Blood Diamond do as he's going to cross the line? He does a 43.7 and just by 400ths of a second takes pole position. Grimo's Bill on his lap. GTR Craig, we know he's invalidated. That is qualifying, folks. Blood Diamond takes the pole position in the second V-Car. Monster in second. Great lap from him. Liquid Gas and Thomas, the top two in the championship, are going to be third and fourth as the rain starts to come down right at the end of qualifying. You see a few little spits, I think, outside of turn 1. Then we've got GTR Craig in 5th. Then the two Mercedes 6th and 7th. Then Grimo and Mike Taylor. It's an interesting qualifying session, that one. Very interesting. So everyone just finishing off and then have a little breather. Hopefully we're going to have a dry race because that is raining at this moment in time. So you just start to lose that grip. You lose the confidence as well when you can see the rain coming. It doesn't feel great. But there is the grid, folks. 10th and a half separating the top 4 drivers. And then less than a second between the whole grid, I should say. But of course, the strategy is going to be important. The top 25%, isn't it? So 2 at least are going to have to use those soft tyres that they have used at some point in this race. Whether or not they start on them, that's another matter. We will wait and see. We shall see what is coming up very, very shortly. So a bit of overcloud here, a bit overcast. That's not going to help any of the alternate strategies. It's not going to help the tyre warm-up either. We don't know if it's going to stay like this or go a little bit damp or not. We're not 100% as yet, so we will keep our eyes on it, of course. So we shall wait and we shall see. Of course, everyone just setting up their strategies, setting up any tiny little changes that they can do for their setups for the heavy fuel. Of course, 22 laps of this race. Very heavy on fuel, this track, as I mentioned, because of the full throttle. Last few moments as we're gearing up. Don't forget to hit the like button, folks. Please do join in the YouTube chat. It'd be lovely to have you with me. I know Liquid Gas and Monster have it on in the background. As usual. So not a problem at all, folks. Anyone else watching, please do. Please come and get involved. Share it on your social media profiles as well. And it helps MOS, of course, get a bit of traction as well in the wider community, which is always good. Let me know your views on this track as well, folks. I mean, I've mentioned before, it's I like this track. It's a difficult track, especially if you tend to try to trim as much rear wing and as much downforce off the car as humanly possible. But then that trade-off in that middle sector, that is the hard part. So let me know what you think. Let me know how you guys get on with it. Monster, yep, so close to pole, but it's not the worst thing in the world. You may get a good slipstream on the first, of course. This is not going to, you know this. You've done it enough. Vexman, hello. Lovely to have you joining me, my friend. Very close grid. Yeah, it is a very close one. You're right there. I think some of the gaps were misleading. 9/10 of a second between the top 9. I don't think that's representative, personally, on the basis that it is a long lap, though. But a few people did bail, and it is easy to run a little bit wide and to invalidate your lap time in that middle sector. So, yeah, I think it is very close. I don't think the times were necessarily representative on that. So I think it's going to be a lot closer. And, the top 2 are going to have to use soft tyres, and they do take a battering round here. Especially that middle sector, they can get to 4-5% worn easily on a lap. Evening, Thomas. Hope you're well, my friend, and looking forward to this one from the second row, alongside, of course, your championship rival, as I'm going to call him. So let's have a look as the formation lap gets underway. The tyres, so few on the medium tyres, that'd be the third, fourth, and fifth on the grid. Softs, and then Grimmo on the hard compound tyres. Interesting one for Grimmo, trying the alternate strategy. That's going to be a good one. I'm interested to see how that works for him. I mean, he's been watching me. I know he has. Grimmo, that's definitely my old strategy. Hasn't been for a while, I'm not going to lie. I haven't used that strategy for about a season or two. But yeah, that was my strategy. Let's go with the alternate, see what we can do. He's in 8th on the grid, and I think that's not a bad call. So this is saying softs to mediums or softs to the hards as a possible race strategies. I think that's brave, personally. To do, well, that's close to 9 laps, I think it was, on the softs is very, very difficult. I think if you're looking at doing the alternate, let's say Liquid Gas, Thomas and GTR, or even Grimmo going that, and then potentially trying to go long with the risk of safety cars or no safety cars, and then using the softs towards the end. If you can extend your stint, that's more doable. It's all about the heat management, all about that wear, and these, like I say, the tyres do take a good beating round here. So would I go with the softs as a race tyre? Probably not, personally, but hey ho, I'm not in the cockpit this evening. I am here. I'm comfy, I'm warm. I know I have a rum on the way somewhere, because it wouldn't be Captain Hodge without a rum when it arrives. So that'll be with us very, very soon. And just going to sit back and enjoy these 22 laps around this historic and infamous circuit. Easy to get a bit of heat in that middle sector. Depends on the pace that Blood Diamond set. But everyone now just starting to back up. Everyone nicely close together. Hopefully enough heat into the tyres. The softs, of course, are going to get some nice heat as well into them. And then it depends on what Grimmo, especially, I would say, on the hard tyres, what heat, as much as he can get into them as we start this race. The mediums shouldn't be too bad, potentially, but it'll be an interesting one, of course, as we've got decent view to the grid, as we've got the Minecraft smoke in the background there. But everyone lined up, everyone apart from GTR able to park correctly in a grid slot. But now we have through 2, 3, 4 and 5 red lights, and round 10 is going racing, and a nice even start. Bit of wheel spin for Monster, but he hooked up the second phase. Blood Diamond unfazed into turn 1. Monster's under a little bit of pressure from Liquid Gas. They're side by side. Oh, that went wide. I think that was Grimmo that got wide a little bit. Monster's got the traction down the hill, out of turn 1 into turn 2 and 3. So Monster keeps hold of second. Liquid Gas keeps ahead of Thomas as well. Then the other Ferrari of GTR. Mike's made a good start. It's Vexman and Grimmo. They're the ones who have lost out. Where's Grimmo gone? There he is. He went very, very wide. Lost a huge amount of time. Down there, Monster got swamped by everyone using, I think, maybe a little bit of their batteries. And also the slipstream effect, as we said, very, very powerful on this opening lap. But nothing Monster can do. Don't forget those two fighting for the championship on the different tyres as well. So anything can happen over the course of this race. But everyone all made it through. Everyone's nice and clean. Making the way down now. So let's get rid of that now. So got nearly a second. Blood Diamond. And now, where have we seen this before? Liquid Gas in the V-carb sandwich. Once more. What can he do about these boys? What can Grimmo do about his tyre warm and the overall pace? There's the strategies again at the bottom of your screen. But Jack had a bit better middle sector. It's going to be interesting again. We mentioned the wear on those soft tyres, especially for Monster and 2 Blood Diamond. But Monster's pulled about a second on his teammate. That's going to be critical for Monster in terms of the DRS, which is going to be enabled this lap. So they won't get it up and over the start-finish line. The other DRS zone, the only other one on this circuit, but it will be available for them going down the Kennel straight this time. So Jack closing up on Blood Diamond, so those mediums working nicely. Then Blood Diamond just trying to save what he can of the softs, not push them too hard and really, run them, scrape them and slide them across the surface. But I tell you what, Thomas got a very, very good run through the base into Radion. How close is he Jack fusing, he's flashing, he's used a lot of his battery to get close to Blood Diamond. While Thomas wasn't using his battery at all, Monster didn't have a very good exit, unfortunately, from turn one. He dropped a few tenths off the back of these guys. The top three fighting way, but Monster still in a very good place, just needs to keep that, and I think that was Blood Diamond had a moment, he did, had a big moment, and now his teammates gone from first to third in the space for Cornell to the bottom of Blue Cell. You can see it just on the right hand side of the screen, and unfortunately I flicked too far down, so now, from that, we've now got Jack leading. And that's just that, as also the little bit of close quarters. Mike's having a quick look at the other Ferrari. We saw that in the background, quickly cut down to it. Mike's looking racy this evening. Good, clean racing between them. Lister, Egg and Vexman is close to him as well. Grimo not quite got the pace on those hard tyres yet, but just got to play that patient game. So top four still close together. Mike has now got past through on GTR. And we're closed up a little bit through the last part of the lap. Sorry, I went quite there a little bit, folks. I was becoming a very happy man because I have a room next to me. I get treated well. What can I say? It goes well. And you can't do commentary, in my view, without a run by at your hand. So, cheers to everybody on this Wednesday evening. A very cold Wednesday evening, especially if you're in England or the northeast. But now everybody, look at these gaps, folks. Look at these gaps. Mike got through on GTR and has closed the gap to the back of Monster to half a second, but GTR's going with him and is within a second. So Grimo's the only one at this moment in time outside of the DRS. This could hurt Grimo. Wow, look at that. Blood Diamond is looking on the outside into the chicane. I don't normally see that, but can Jack keep it going? And he got the DRS. We just allowed Blood Diamond. There it is. Blood Diamond didn't half get the run as well outside of the final corner. Wow. Is Jack going to play this one smart? What happened further back? Mike Taylor made a move on the Ferraris. I think Monster got shoved out a little bit, or really got a poor exit, because he's now down into 6th from 4th. Mike up there, but let's have a look on board from Thomas at the top two. Everyone in the DRS. This is going to get exciting now, folks, because this is going to be a big DRS battle. There goes Liquid Gas. The DRS very, very, very powerful. Look at Thomas gaining on his teammate. Not quite long enough further back. We've got GTR was close. I think I might be able to say one of them was close with the other. But everyone in that DRS train has to just be patient. Use their tyres to the best of their ability. Monster's lost the spot, unfortunately, to Lister Egg, but he's on the soft tyres that he qualified on, so they're going to be a lot more heavily worn than those around him. So it's not one that Monster needs to worry about at this moment in time, because he needs to remember that. But Blood Diamond doing a good job, but he just allowed his teammate to go through now, trying to now play that rear gun and knowing Thomas can get up after Liquid Gas, who's in the lead but not able to break the DRS at this moment in time. And it is so important round here. GTR got a good exit as well. He's now on the back of my Taylor. Monster had a good exit as well. Look at that in the background. Let's go on board with Monster. Great move around Lister Egg as well. Outside before Blanchemont. Fantastic move from Monster. Really good exit. What about his teammate? What can GTR do? Playing heavily. Oh, Monster, where have you gone? Oh, there he is. Monster sitting on the outside of his teammate. Monster, what a move that is from Andrew. Did not see that coming at all. GTR focused on the Red Bull ahead, and GTR turned into a GTI and lost a bit of a space. Oh, Monster again, and just under traction. He's lost it now to his teammate, but he's still going to get that DRS, I'd imagine. Up the Kennel straight. I think it's just those soft tyres crying a little bit. Where's the rear wing going to open? It is just as well, because Lister Egg got a better run. He's using more of his battery. There's the Mercedes going. And is he going to make the double move? It's almost 3-1. There's been contact between him and Monster's gone on the outside. Well, I actually think Monster was already taking that line personally. I think Monster already had that line. He was committed there. GTR went to the middle of the track to defend a little bit from his teammate. And then Lister Egg, that was Michael Schumacher, Mika Hakkinen-esque. Didn't quite work out, and Monster, the big beneficiary. GTR actually lost 2 places and all of that, and then the other Mercedes there at the back of that scrambling. But Grimo is now catching all of these guys now, so only 4.2. Don't forget that was bordering on 6 seconds. As that was Lister Egg going very, very wide through the exit of campus. But all that battling, unfortunately, has meant Monster is... Man, mate, that's the rum talking, and give me the hiccups already. But Monster dropped outside of the DRS, so he may become, unless he has a fantastic chicane, which we saw last lap, and gets the traction outside of the La Source hairpin, he could be under a bit of pressure come the Kennel straight, so we'll leave him be. But he has closed it a little bit. If he gets a good exit, that's key, because we've got everybody fighting behind him, and he might be vulnerable. And I'm sure that'll be on his mind. Hopefully it won't be too much for Grimo. Yep, that pace. Look at that Aston Martin. That grip now 3.5 seconds. So he's taking another good half, maybe 8/10 of a second off in the final part of the lap alone. So those hard tyres, don't forget he's on the hards, the only one in the hard tyres. Those tyres now coming into the road. Let's go back to the front. As Thomas has overtaken Nico Gas and all the melee. Monster has lost a place to his teammate of all people, and then then the outside, that's a little bit of contact with Lister Egg. They're still fighting side by side. Lister Egg's going to have the inside line, and he gets the move done. Hopefully no damage. Let's have a quick look. No damage to either car there, so that's good news. I think unfortunately it's one of those that, because of the battle as well, look, they've now dropped 2.5 seconds to this pack. Oh, Monster! Out of no name. Oh no, it was going well for you. Let's have a quick look. I want to find out if you've got, hopefully no damage. Oh, end plate missing. You could go to the hard tyres now, I think. This is where these softs are going to struggle. Look, Blood Diamond, he's starting to, don't forget, on the softs that he qualified on. So he's now dropped a lot of time to the top 2. They're starting on the fresh mediums, Mike as well, on the same tyres. So he's going to be pushing on. He's going to be a bit fresher than Blood Diamond. He's definitely struggling now. Those mediums, the soft tyres. I said lap 6, 7. I didn't think they would go to lap 9. I didn't think they would feel good, but now he's continuing on. Fair play to him. He's continuing. He's fighting on. GTR, because of this battle, has actually closed the gap, but I think that is partly due to Blood Diamond struggling a little bit. Monster has pitted. He'd have to, with the tyres going off the way that they did, and him struggling there with that little bit of wing damage. So hopefully he can replace that and go on again. Let's have a quick look. It is the hard tyres. Excuse me, for the Ferrari man. Not really a surprise there. Could take those to the end. 15 laps on them. Vexman's actually overtaking his teammate now. Sitting there for a little while. But gaps just starting to form as people, once they get out of that DRS range, it really can hurt down here. And of course, you saw the back of the Aston Martin flickering there through no name, and that is also a big key part to how you run the car and how you plan your lap and the overall pace. As if you guys have just dropped outside of that. But let's go back to this battle, shall we? The Mike Taylor Blood Diamond battle for the final podium place. They are dropping a lot of time to the top 2, but crucially, Mike Taylor very wide. That probably will be a track limit warning. I do believe it's strict on here, because honestly, if you run regular track limits in this game, you can make up your own and not get any warnings. It's a bit lax. Shall we call it lax? Yeah, let's go with lax. So, Mike Close, Jack outside for the first time this race, outside of the DRS range, the top two now, just over a second. He'll get a good tow though, which will help him down the Kennel Straight, but Mike is the man closest to mount a challenge at this moment in time. Listereg on his teammate as well. And then the DRS is going to be wide open. There it goes on the Red Bull, and there we go. Mike going to the inside. Blood Diamond not moving at all. Gets the move done into the braking zone. Just about gets the move done, but Blood Diamond wasn't giving that one up. Had to in the end. And Mike on his way, showed some good pace early on. On the soft tyres, he may have to pit soon. But according to the possible race strategies, don't forget, Bob, the mediums will go... Oh, I'm trying to do some maths again now. This isn't good. I think they said about lap 9, didn't they? Lap 9, and then they go to the medium tyres. So that would mean they would take... Oh, Blood Diamond does have the first warning. That was through the entry of Puon that he got that. That's allowed GTR is actually closing in on this one, on him now. He does run a solid race. Had a good little battle for early on with Listereg and his teammate. And Grimmer has now caught up the back of all these guys, only 1.4 seconds, so those hearts still be feeling okay at this moment in time, while everyone else is will be overheating and starting to lose that overall traction. They'll be starting to slide around a little bit more than they did previously. But we're nearing the halfway point, and I'm sure we're going to start seeing the pit stop window open, especially for those on the soft tyres. For someone like Blood Diamond, who started on his worn softs, I think the mediums will only go a lap or two more. They won't feel great, and I think the undercut here could be quite strong. But I tell you what, GTR in a straight line. Don't know if he was using any of his battery, but he's having a quick look. Wasn't close enough. I think Blood Diamond just tapped the back of Mike Taylor as well for good measure. Couldn't quite slow the car down. I think Mike may have been struggling. And now Grimmo, after his lap 1, turn 1 excursion over the gravel to drop nearly 6 seconds, and now made a place on Vexman, his first overtake, first bit of action that he's had this race. So again, that's what I mean, just being patient can pay off for you, and that's what Grimmo's done, and now brings himself back in. Mike Taylor now with a 3-second penalty as well, again through Puon. Easy to do and run wide there. If you just carry that too much speed and your tyres aren't gripping, that's where it can really bite you. Liquid gas has dropped off another half a second to the back of Thomas, but these guys pulling away from the next three, this trio, and then we've got Grimmo and Vexman a little bit further back as well. Monster just getting those hard tyres working. We saw from Grimmo, takes a few laps for them to warm up and really start to grip, but the lap time, it's coming, that gap was about 28-29, so it's starting to come down now for Monster, so you'll have the confidence now in that car and know exactly where the grip is. GTR and Blood Diamond, so that's Blood Diamond's the first one to pit. Unsurprising, really, because... Oh, hang on, so Vex was also pit. Okay. But not surprised about Darren's pit, actually, because, of course, he started on them. Let's have a look at the tyres and see which tyres these two go on to. I'd imagine it'd be the hards. Mediums for them both. Wow. Okay. Give you that one. We think they'll go the following, 13 laps, really, to the end. 13 racing laps. So that's going to be an interesting one. See how they cope with that. Mike and GTR having a battle. Oh, just came aboard with Mike as he got a big slide on through the middle of Lecombe. Managed to hold it though. But let's look at those tyres. Those softs for Mike and for Listereg are not going to be feeling good. Surely by now, 9 laps in, They started on fresh softs, so they'll have a good 4% less than what we had for Blood Diamond, and for Monster, unfortunately, had that damage through a slide outside of No Name. But yes, they won't be feeling very good at all. And then we've got the guys in the mediums. They'll just start to feel them go off now, I would imagine. I think they'll just start to feel the grip leave them. They may not be sliding much, but they just won't have the overall pace that they've experienced in the last few laps, and they'll just feel them getting a little bit slower. I wonder, there's 3 tenths just dropped there from Thomas. I wonder if he got a big slidey through the final chicane. If you guys got a couple of tenths back. Mike has pitted. I think Listereg has also pitted as well. Yep, they have. The 2 soft tyre runners have now pitted, and that's allowed Grimmer up into 4th. Of course, we're going to try and go long on those hard tyres. So, it's going to be feeling quite nice at this moment in time. The question now, for me, not about anybody watching. Again, if you are watching, please do hit the like button, the little thumbs up when it takes seconds. If it's you lot while we're driving, please don't do it now. It's not advisable. Even if you're down the Kennel Straight, please don't. But if you hit the like button, do join me in the YouTube chat. But this one for me is the question of when the top 3 especially are going to pit, because we are getting towards that window now. Do you stop early, go for the hard tyres and have that sort of security for the rest of the race, or do you try to eke it out and try to do another 2 laps at least on these tyres that are going to be crying out, but then potentially run the softs for those 8-9 laps at the end? That's the gamble. That's what I'm sure is going to be weighing on these drivers' minds at this moment, because they're still feeling the grip, but they're not feeling as much grip as they used to, and Grimo is closing in on GTR. Well, a little bit. That was about 4.3. It's now well under that at this moment in time. But GTR is very quick in a straight line. Now, you can see the gap there opening up, and we've seen it through the opening part of this race. Vexman and Listereg further back. They have pitted, but again, once more, nose to tail, those 2 Mercedes. Struggling to be separated this time. I'm most dropping off the back of them, but again, these guys are on the medium tyres. They're on quicker tyres. They'll come to heat a little bit sooner than Monster. So Monster needs to keep doing what he's doing and see what comes his way. Still points. That's all that matters. Grimmo just made a mistake. He's now dropped back over the 4-second margin. So these 2 are the only ones that are in DRS. We've seen them battle and argue already this evening. And there we go, Rexman making that overtake. Oh, but I tell you what, Listereg's not giving that one up. There is no love lost between these 2. Might be in the same car, but that doesn't matter one bit. Vexman does get the move done. And 1 extra lap on those mediums, so he'll know a bit more about the grip levels that he's got, and got them right into that temperature window. And then the gaps are starting to open up a little bit now. So now it's going to be interesting to see where people do decide to pit as Listereg gets 3 seconds. I thought I saw him take a bit much inside curb through the middle of Lacombe, which we saw Liquid Gas invalidate one of his qualifying lap times for doing the exact same thing. But then that would have been a warning, and they're not sure where he would have got the other one. Might have been through campus, I would imagine. Looking at him on the map. In the bottom right hand corner of your screen, as GTR is the first one of the top 3 to dive into the pit lane. He's the one who's going to change his tyres first. What is he going to use? Is he going to go to the softs and try and take them to the end? He is. Oh, that's Jack. Oh, that was Grimmo, sorry. He gets a bit squiggly as Blood Diamond sets the fastest lap. Interestingly, GTR's going to come out in a bit of a battle, really. He's going to be a couple of seconds off the back of Mike Taylor and Blood Diamond, who they were battling earlier on before the pit stop window, and then just ahead of the battling Mercedes pair. So he's going to have grip straight away. We know this. We know how quickly the softs warm up. So once he gets through Lecomte, those soft tyres be nice and grippy for him and give him a lot of feedback until he breaks himself a little bit and slides through the first part. That's not going to do him too much good. Got to bring them in still nicely and not take too much life out of them. But then what are these two going to do? They had a cushion of about 6 seconds to GTR before he pitted, so they've got the cushion. They should all come out ahead. Let's have a quick look at the info to the leader. So Blood Diamond is only 21 seconds further back, but has pitted, and of course, Liquid Gas 3 seconds, goes wide through Blanchimont. That's made him, I think that's helped him, influence his decision, and he has bailed into the pits. So now only Thomas and Grimm are the ones left to pit, of course, Grimm on those hard tyres. It's going to be interesting to see where Jack comes out now. When he puts, presumably, the soft tyres on. There they are. Where does he come out? Where's Blood Diamond? He's coming down the start-finish straight now. Where's Liquid Gas? He's there. He's going through the exit of the pit lane. Does he get out ahead of Blood Diamond? He does. Will Blood Diamond be close enough in order to get the DRS down the canal straight? I don't think he's going to get it. No, the DRS is before Eau Rouge. So he's not, but he's got a better run though. Now, what can Liquid Gas do about Thomas now? He's on the soft tyres. He'll have them to temperatures. He's going to try and do an undercut round here. But then what can Thomas do in response? You would say, I would imagine Thomas would probably pit in response. And now it's down to Grimo. But Grimo, with that field, look at the field behind Liquid Gas. You've got less than a second, then 2.5, 2.4, less than a second again, then 1.2 seconds. Grimo could come out around about... I'm trying to do some maths again here. That's difficult when you've got a rum in hand. A very nice rum, I must admit. He'll come out ahead of Monster. There it is. Thomas is pitting, reacting to Jack pitting the lap before, and I think he had to. Any later, he would put himself at big risk of an undercut. What about Grimo? Grimo's also pitting. Couldn't take those hards any further than Thomas did on the medium tyres. But there's Jack coming through the final corner. I think Jack, where's Thomas? There's Thomas, he's moving, but there on the outside, there is Jack. Jack's going into the source. Is he going to get the run? Look at there's Thomas. Who's going to get the run? It's Jack gets the run. Jack's now got the lead. But is Thomas going to get the DRS detection? I think he is. The DRS detection was about where the tarmac changes colour. What about Thomas? Are we going to have him on board? There it is. He's got the rear wing open. Is he going to be able to get the move done on Jack, who's now the light is flashing? Is he close enough? He's not. Jack had the speed and the overrun used, I'm sure, most of his battery and gets the undercut. So how powerful was that? That was a good 2-second undercut that Jack managed over Thomas. Let's get rid of that now. We don't need those. We know what tyres people are on. We know about the stops. So Kumo's also pitted. He has come out as pitted ahead of Monster, but now he's going to be on fresh and softer tyres. So he's going to be hunting down a potential podium here actually as well, which will be an incredible result if he manages to close down in these remaining 7 laps against Vexman and then the people ahead with all the different penalties. All have got 3 seconds. No one's got any more than that at this moment in time. But just for argument's sake, there is the proof. I'm not making it up this time. But now this battle for the lead starting to hot up. Thomas has really stuck with Jack through this one. And we saw he looked after his tyres that little bit more than Jack did in the first part of this race, so he was able to pull the gap towards the end. And of course, Blood Diamond's on the mediums. He didn't soft to the medium run, the alternate strategy to these guys, because of course him starting on pole position was sort of forced his hand to start on those tyres, which he did. I tell you what, Thomas gets a heck of a good drive off the source. Had to pull out of the slipstream early on, but he's had to pull out early as well once again, and now got the rear wing open, chooses the inside line. Jack's half covered it, does leave room. Very good racing from them both. It's just about room. Jack hangs it on the outside. Lacombe just keeps it once again. Good racing from them both, as we've seen all season long. This is allowing Blood Diamond to sort of keep in touch, looking to maybe mop up anything that may come his way. And he's a battle that's been brewing, and we've seen Shooter somewhere before. Oh, that was it. For 11 laps. Oh, Morrison with a 3-second penalty as well. Coming out of the exit of Lacombe. Easy to do, actually. You just get a little slide on, then it can take you over that exit curb. So GTR and Mike Taylor. Take 2. Or maybe take 20. One of. They're dropping off the back of Blood Diamond, unfortunately, at this moment in time. But the two Mercedes have now got a gap. Lister got back past Vexman and created a good gap, which has now allowed Grimaud to start to close in that little bit more. Honestly, that graphic through Blanchimont where the parts of the carbon fibre flashing up, it's horrible. Absolutely horrible. I really don't like it. Really, really don't. But hey ho, we move on, and yeah, Lister's got a really good drive there. He's actually closing the gap a little bit to GTR Mike Taylor. This could be a really good, really fun battle very, very soon. But Thomas is going to have a look at liquid gas. There he goes. This time was close enough. Got the slipstream, got the DRS open, and retakes the lead once again. These two started in the second row of the grid and now lead 1 and 2 once more. And are we going to see it end that way? Two standout drivers this season in MRS. Not to discount, of course, Blood Diamond, Grimaud, or any of the other drivers. Mike, look at this. Mike really... Well, GTR got past, actually. Do apologise. GTR, yeah, got past Mike under the DRS. So we missed that one looking at the top two, of course. Lister's still there, just 1.5 seconds back. Grimaud has closed that gap to Vexman. I think he's running out of time, is Grimaud, to do anything more potentially about those spots ahead of him. But Thomas, I think, was probably going to get the win on the basis that Liquid Gas had that 3-second penalty. That's just me, unless because we haven't seen drivers get the grip and drive away this race. As Thomas is at the fastest lap of the race, Mike takes a bit of a different line through the final chicane. But yeah, Grimaud, definitely. Let's have a look at Grimaud. He's got the DRS. Is he going to try and have a look into La Source? Or is he going to wait his time? As that Mercedes gets very, very deep through La Source hairpin. Compromise on the exit, but Grimaud's just going to take the easy route, take the easy option. He gets the grip through Radion, and away we go. Look at the extra speed that he's got already. DRS wide open. And you won't see an Aston Martin do an easier overtake than that one in Formula 1. Guarantee that one, folks. So, he's got... Oh, GTR Mike really battling down into Bruxelles. GTR on the soft tyres, but Mike is not giving this one up. What a great back that was. Great move as well. Mike to get back past and battle side by side. Liquid Gas has lost the DRS once more. Thomas just seemed to have that. I think he's got a little bit more downforce. I think Thomas looks after his tyres that little bit more with that And it's quicker in that middle sector where it's also crucial to break the DRS toe. The gas, I think, is almost concerning himself. It will be a second. Everyone has 3-second penalties. Grimmo 3.7 behind Lister Egg, and that's important for Grimmo to get at least the next 4 laps as close as possible. He could gain a couple of positions, don't forget, from that, because of those 3-second penalties. Doesn't want to get one himself, of course. Oh, I've jinxed him. Sorry, Grimmo. That was the exit of Blanchemont. He's now got 3 seconds, so it's only Vexman and Thomas, the only ones who have not got 3-second penalties so far this evening. I tell you what, if Thomas gets one, I think that'll invigorate Jack a little bit more. But Jack, I think, is just bringing the car home. He's dropped it 2.5 seconds further back and just letting Thomas go now and doing what he needs to do just to bring the car in and consolidate a second place. But tell you what, this one isn't done, because these guys are definitely fighting tooth and nail. GTR now retakes that position from Mike. He's on the soft tyres as well. It's just going to be interesting to see what he can do in the next few laps and work out what his wear is going to be. But that little overtake and this slipstream effect that Lister Egg's got as well is bringing him into play. So this could be a spicy end to the race. Well, it's been a little bit of a burner. Vexman's had a moment somewhere. He was a lot closer to Grimmo, and that's going to be desperate for Vexman to keep within that 3 seconds as well, because, of course, Grimmo now with his penalty. But, yeah, look at this battle. GTR Mike. Really good, respectful battle. And now Lister Egg just seems to be closing in on them as well. So this is for 4th, 5th and 6th. Bit of a gap of 2.9 to Blood Diamond, who's got 2.8 to Liquid Gas, and then 2.4. But tell you what, GTR Mike still battered side by side. Mike knows he's there by the looks of it. Wow, around the outside of Blanchemont. What a move from Mike. We're on board, unfortunately, with... Ooh, steady. Different line taken from Mike there. But a lot of battery left from GTR. I wonder if he's just waiting his time to battle. Oh, look at Lister Egg locked the rear. And that's allowed Grimmo through. We saw him do that. I think it was in qualifying, either early on in the race or through qualifying. That bit by is not going well for him at all. That could have been a very exciting battle. That's allowed a free place to Grimmo. It helped him gap event Vexman. But there we go, GTR and Mike battling once again. Closest battle on track. Good recovery from Grimmo. Was on the hard tyres and was patient. And now we picked up 1 or 2 spots and then very fortuitous to get past Lister Egg with his half spin on the entry to the source. Everything else is just calm. Everyone just managing gaps at the moment, and that is crucial. Make sure the tyres go to the end. Don't want to lose too much performance on the last lap, because you can not only just lose the performance, but the time difference that you will lose is astronomical, and that could make a difference. Oh my goodness me, the CTR! I said about the tyres, and we were riding with him. Oh my goodness me. Through the second part of Stavolo. Blooming heck, where did that go from? To the Ferraris? Oh, poor night for them. Really, really unlucky. GTR losing the rear through the second part of Stavolo. Monster early on as well, forced to have an early pit stop. And just not had the overall pace on the hard tyres to come back to it. That's really unlucky for both of them. That's an out Grimmo now. Up into 5th. Only 1 point, only 2 seconds off my tailor, funny enough. So that could get spicy towards the end if Grimmo's got the tyres left to do it. But Mike's now got a bit of a breather. He was behind GTR as well. Then he panicked a little bit, to say the least. Well, now all these gaps have opened up. We've got a lap, just over a lap and a half left. The gap's just open, everyone's a bit steady now. Grimmer has actually closed really, really well on the back of Mike. This will be interesting. Has he kept those tyres alive for a final run? What grip is he going to have? Is he going to get that all-important DRS on the final lap down the Kennel Straight? Is he going to be close enough to launch an assault? We've just seen Mike go on the outside of Blanchamon on GTR a couple of laps ago. Is Grimmer going to try to close up? Is he going to be able to close up? Different line slightly through. Oh, as Grimmer got a bit of the slide going. He's just about outside. He was nearly in it, but the slide he got, trying to get the power down as much as he could, pushed that little bit, has cost him a few tenths. Mike, I'm sure, is going to be deploying whatever of his overtake button he's possibly got. But Grimmer could potentially, crossing the detection point, be within a second. He's used as much of his battery. You could see the light flashing, but has he got it? He has used probably a bit too much, but he's got the DRS. He's not gaining. He's actually losing a bit of speed because he hasn't got any battery left in the desperation to try to catch Mike. I don't think he's going to be close enough, but this is the only battle we have really got on track at the moment. The Ferraris have dropped further back. I think Monster may have pitted again, actually. Both Ferraris have pitted, I do believe. Let's have a quick look just to find out. It has been 2 stops there on the soft tyres for both of them. They're going to try and set a fast lap on the final lap of the race. And we saw Monster have a great qualifying run, so let's hope he can get that extra point for him. Will be critical. I think Thomas at the minute is the one with the fastest lap, who has driven a fantastic race once again. Thomas 5 seconds ahead of Liquid Gas. Liquid Gas tried, Jack did everything he possibly could to try to challenge there, Thomas, but just wasn't quite enough. Thomas's higher downforce setup just worked a little bit more for him, managed to look after his tyres, didn't get any penalties on track, and coming out of the chicane, Thomas is going to once again take the victory over the line. Liquid Gas is going to come across, as always, going to be the bridesmaid. And in second he comes. Blood Diamond, there he crosses the third. And then Grimmer's so close. It has crashed across the line trying to put the power down. Oh, bloomin' heck. At least he didn't, he didn't do a Lando Norris. Oh, so Mike holds on to fourth. Grimmer in fifth. Listereg in sixth. Then his teammate Vexman is going to come across in seventh place, and then it is the turn of the 2 Ferraris. He's flashing away his GTR, and can they set the fastest lap on those soft tyres? This is going to be an interesting one to see if they have that overall pace and the traffic left. I like how Grimmer's car just stranded there at the edge of the track. GTR can't quite make it work for him in terms of the fastest lap, but he's in 8th. Monster with at least 2 points is going to come across in 9th. Has he got enough for the fastest lap? We didn't see. But unlucky one for the Ferraris. Congratulations once again to Thomas, Jack and Blood Diamond. Driver of the day from the game is Thomas. I'm starting on the second row of the grid. Would I give it to Thomas? We'll have a look in a second. We'll have a look at those positions. I mean, few drivers worthy of mention. Of course, Thomas with a fantastic battle. Jack had a good battle in the opening stages. Grimmer from his early excursion to fight back and take 5th in the end. I know he got a sort of a position gain from GTR, granted, but a good battle and very good patience nonetheless. And Mike as well with a great race. So, and some great pace as well for that middle point. And here we go. The standings for everybody. So here's the top 3. Thomas, Liquid Gas and Blood Diamond once again filling the podium places. Then it is Mike Taylor, Grimmer, Listereg, Vexman, GTR and Monster finishing up. Only 2 drivers without a penalty. I'm going to give the drive of the day personally to Mike, from the back of the grid into 4th with some fantastic battles, especially with GTR and Listereg in those early stages, and Blood Diamond as well, of course. So yeah, for me, it's Mike that takes the driver of the day. And that is it, folks. There is your round 10 action in MRS. Once again, all done and dusted. We'll be back next week. 7 days' time. round 11. We have 2 more races this year. We are potentially going to take a break for, because then we have that thing of Christmas Day and Santa and Jolly and emptying his sack all over everywhere, but we'll leave that for another time. And then New Year, of course, as well. So there may be a little bit of a breather, but we have next 2 weeks, of course, for you. So we will see you 7 days' time. Thank you all for watching, and good night.